So these are the words spoken by Lord Brahma. Where he mentions that the Lord, who is the Supreme Controller, his wonderful creative power, yoga-māyā, cannot be easily understood even by the masters of the yoga. So this world at times can be very bewildering. More so when we see some reversals happening to devotees. Recently, what happened in Bangladesh, or there was many people when they had gone to Kedarnath. Which place was that? Kedarnath. So then the question arises, if they had gone for some sense gratification, or if they were demoniac in their nature, then it's easy to understand. Law of karma, they're getting the reactions. But if somebody is very devoted to the Lord, is serving the Lord, then if reversals happen, it's difficult to comprehend. The first question which comes to the mind is why the Lord did not protect. And for some people whose faith is komala, adho shraddha tata sadhu sanga bhajan kriya anartha nivrit tato nishtha. If it's in a very komal shraddha, then they can even stop believing in God and doubt the very existence. This happened with me when I was going out for life membership preaching. I think I have shared earlier. I visited one house, and generally when we visit, so the person told, why don't you visit our neighbors also? She is a very devoted lady. So I also visited the neighbor's house, adjacent house. And I was not aware who is residing there. So moment I rang the bell, this door opened, this lady, very familiar face. She used to regularly come to the temple in Bangalore. And then I said, Hare Krishna Mataji, because very familiar face. We have seen each other. She has come to the temple many times. So then I said, Mataji, you have not been coming to the temple for a long time. 6 months would have passed, approximately. Sometimes a familiar face you see after a very long time, you can have some idea that it's been long not seen that person. So she very curtly said, Prabhuji, enough. I don't want to come to temple. So I was a little shocked. Then I said, what happened? Because many people abruptly stop coming to the temple. There could be various reasons. So I was curious, maybe somebody misbehaved, or maybe she got, in our words, fright. Then she herself, I was curious, I was wanting to know the reason. I wanted to ask why. But before I could ask, she started saying, this all is blind belief. I don't believe anymore in God. Again, I was shocked. And then she said, Prabhu, don't waste your time. Please go away. And seeing her response, I was taken aback. And she didn't welcome, she didn't ask me to come inside, and shut the door, and I went on. Later on, I came to know her husband died in an air crash. And they were quite devoted couple. And the husband was very good. They had very good understanding, good relationship. She was very attached to her husband. And he died in an air crash. So reversals, two things can happen. If we are fortunate, if we are blessed, then the reversals can increase our dependence on the Lord. It can teach us some important lessons which otherwise we don't learn. They say miseries can teach us some very important lessons which otherwise we don't learn. We cannot learn in good times. Reversals or miseries can have, if our Shraddha is very komala, it can also take us away from the Lord. Faith can be shaken or can be shattered, as was evident in the case of this lady. That's why our bhakti should be backed with proper understanding. That's why Prabhupada, although it is good people take up chanting, and many times it is at a very sentimental level. That's why Prabhupada said, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, read my books. Bhakti Vedanta. It should be backed with proper understanding of Krishna consciousness. If it is not backed with proper understanding, then even small things, one security guard misbehaved, person can stop coming to the temple. And Maya is always ready to give us, to test us, test our sincerity. Another incident happened. There was a folk boy who was regularly coming to the temple, had picked up Krishna consciousness. So generally folk boys, so he once brought his parents, little elderly parents, to the temple in Bangalore. And generally folk boys have this card, folk ID card. It was Sunday, and since he had brought the parents first time, he wanted to take them around the temple and show them. And generally, when somebody is coming regularly, they have a sense of belonging that, this is my temple and I can go around. Some kind of, just like in your own house, you would not like to be stopped. It's your house. So that person was taking around, and unfortunately he tried going to some area which there was barricade, there was chain, and maybe security guard knew that particular. He very roughly, hey, why are you going like this? He stopped. He tried reasoning, but security unfortunately was very rough. Maybe the guard was changed or something. He tried arguing, and probably some abusive word he used. He got so put off that he stopped coming to the temple. Now, when we become devotees, our Krishna consciousness the foundation cannot be tottering like a drop of water on a lotus leaf. It's very slippery. Anytime it can slip off. Many times devotees get put off, possible, because we are conditioned souls. some misbehavior with someone, some reversal, some bad treatment, somebody used some wrong word, some facility we did not get which according to us we deserve, or something should have in festival. I was supposed to get a particular seat in the front row, but they pushed me aside. Or I did not get the due respect. These all are possible. But if our Krishna consciousness standing is based on these flimsy grounds, then Maya will easily shake us. So we have to, that's why it has to be backed with proper understanding. And proper understanding comes if we read Prabhupada's books. Proper understanding comes Nityam Bhagavata Seva on a daily basis. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seva. These are abhadras. I heard a very nice statement. For a perceiver, please, this is a very important statement. We may be great devotees, but we can make blunder in these kind of things. For a perceiver, perceived reality is reality. Please hear this carefully. For a perceiver, we are perceivers. Perceived reality is reality. But perceived reality may not be reality. That's why everyone is having a different reality based on how we interpret what is happening to us. That's called perceived reality. Even in this temple, there could be somebody, maybe in the congregation, in the folk, or maybe this thing, who would perceive that there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of this thing. This is not the right place to practice Krishna consciousness. There's so much of, somebody will perceive like that. And think that this is the reality. Perceived reality is reality. For a perceiver, perceived reality is reality, but perceived reality may not be reality. In the same temple, somebody could also be there. It's Vaikuntha. I feel like going every day. Temple is the same. Devotees is the same. Deities is the same. Facilities is the same. But why two devotees are thinking differently? Perceived reality. Many times, where is the perceived reality? Perceived reality is in our perception. It's what's going on in our head. It's our opinion. That's why many times when we try thinking of changing the external, we forget about one thing. We want to change the whole world. We forget about changing our perception. Bhagavatam is all about changing our perception. It is not promising that reversals will not happen. It is not promising that you become devotee of the Lord Krishna will protect the way you want to be protected. Bhagavatam is giving what perception we should have, that even if the reversals happen, you will not perceive it as a reversal. You will perceive it as the mercy of the Lord. That story of a man who had itching session in the eyes, and then he went to a sadhu. He said, see green things. And then he came home and painted everything green. And when the sadhu came, he said, what happened? He said, you only told green. So he said, alas, you could have go on a green glass. Then you would have seen everything green. You don't have to paint the entire thing world. So, if we have to be happy, then one possibility of we being happy is everything around us should happen to orchestrate my happiness. People should treat me nicely, people should behave nicely, they should speak kind words, they should respect me, they should give me the treatment what I want. All the facilities, what is good for my happiness should be there. All this condition tick box is there, then I'll be happy. This is equivalent to paint the word clean. And Krishna consciousness is wearing the green glass. If you are Krishna conscious, irrespective of what is happening around us, what people are speaking, how people are treating, what circumstances you are in, somebody is cursing, somebody is blaming, somebody is criticizing, somebody is this thing, your happiness is intact. We have to aim for that kind of consciousness. We should not aim for a situation, a circumstances. One fine day when everything will get so streamlined, everything will be in order, and then I will be happy and peaceful. That day will never come. Everyone should behave nicely, everyone should treat nicely, nobody should criticize, nobody should put each other, nobody should do prajalpa. Everywhere there should be cleanliness. Then I'll be happy. Then we'll never be happy. Because Maya also, which is divine energy of the Lord, is designed to give test. All sincere devotees, insincere devotees, they don't want to disturb Krishna. So such tests will come. Reversals will come. Criticism will come. Blasphemy will come. And if we don't have proper understanding, then we'll be shaken. Then we will be deprived of association of Krishna. Sometimes devotees may even leave the temple. Some folk boys may stop coming to the temple. Maybe genuinely somebody made a mistake. Somebody criticized or somebody spoke rashly. But finally, who is the loser? We can always blame, he should have not spoken like that. Yes, it's a fact, he should not be spoken. But then, each one of us, are we independent? Again, this is Krishna consciousness. Are we just independent? Kartaham iti manyate. What is that verse? Prakrite kriyaman gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. Everyone is here. It starts Prabhupada purport that everyone is acting helplessly under the influence of modes of material nature. The three modes of material nature is responsible for the creation, preservation, and destruction. In case of loss or reverse, one becomes doubtful about how the Lord could be so unkind to his devotee as to put him in great difficulty. Jesus Christ was seemingly put into such great difficulty, being crucified by the ignorant, but he was never angry at the mischief mongers. That is the way of accepting a thing, either favorable or unfavorable. Jesus Christ, he was a great preacher. He was preaching the glories of the Lord. And when he was crucified, anyone knows what word he spoke? Jai Shri Ram. Haribo. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. This is very important for us also. People may not crucify us, for they know not what they are doing. Everyone is under the influence of mode. Somebody is in tamoguna. A security guard may misbehave. How can our Krishna consciousness be on the basis of what the security guard behaved? for they know not what they are doing. A devotee is sometimes put into adversity while executing devotional service. In adversity, everyone laments and becomes aggrieved. But by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a devotee, even in the worst condition, can understand that he is going through a severe examination by the Personality of Godhead. Again, interpretation of what's happening. Bhagavatam gives a master stroke, Brahmastra. If somebody, any reverse condition, if you use that Brahmastra, you will be happy. Anyone knows what is a Brahmastra? If you forget everything, just remember this thing. Any reverse condition, you will sail through without your faith getting shattered. Brahmastra. Anyone knows? Yes. Tatya anukampam susumikshamano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. Tatya anukampam susumikshamano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam hritavak vapubir vidadanaste jivetayu mukti pade sadaya. What does second line mean? Bhunjana evatma kritam. It's my doing. I deserve much more. I was taking one question answer session in Ahmedabad. So one devotee asked, very nice question. He asked, a temple president may act wrongly, and later on the GBC may realize that the temple president had acted wrongly and may correct the temple president. But what about the devotee who, because of the wrongdoing of the president, suffered? वो तो पिस गया ना. What is the answer? Again, interpretation. You can be entitled to, I am entitled to proper treatment. It's my birthright, I should be treated well. I gave an answer. The devotee should think, is it my birthright that I should be treated this? What all I have done in the past? Yes, if I am treated right, it's good, it's great. But if it's treated wrong, so many factors are in place. What if I was the temple president last life and बहुतों को पीसा मैंने? Right? Thinking. Problem is not how we think. Great, many times devotees, our thinking is where we make a mistake. If this verse is the Tattva, I deserve it. Okay, he's messed up my life, I deserve it. I should be getting much more. I'm getting a token reaction. This is not just to reconcile. This is Bhagavatam's philosophy. This is what devotees are thinking. This is what Pandavas thought. This is what all the devotees, Jesus Christ thought. All the names Prabhupada is mentioning, this is what Haridāsa Ṭhākura thought. And this is not just to read and say, these are wonderful devotees. This is just for us to take lessons. This is how we should think. And reversals will come in everyone's life. Diseases will come, old age will come, treatment will come, criticism will come, blasphemy will come, everything will come. We should never feel entitled. I'm entitled for good treatment. If good treatment comes, great. If it doesn't come, thank you, Lord. Learn the lesson. Otherwise, this will happen, all these cases, what I said. Our Krishna consciousness is at stake. We can lose the great fortune of being in association of devotees by somebody's mistake. One Prabhupada quote is there where it says, you will leave your Krishna consciousness just because somebody made a mistake. Are you a puppet in somebody's hand? Somebody made a mistake out of ignorance and you lose your Krishna consciousness. No doubt. Another thing we have, does that mean that anybody can do anything and I have to tolerate and I have to use this Brahmastra Tatyanukam? There is fairness. Krishna will take care. You don't be the controller. सबको हमने ही ठीक करके रखना है. नहीं. If somebody is making, the temple president is making a mistake, there is a system. The Lord will take care. Prabhupada will take care. But how do I protect my consciousness, my thinking? By proper Krishna conscious understanding. This is not to say that temple president can do anything or anybody can do anything. There is no fairness in this world and anybody can come and crush me and I have to just use this verse. No. As a matter of duty, what needs to be done, we'll do it. But we don't lose our Krishna consciousness. We don't lose faith in Krishna. We don't say Krishna is unfair just because some reversal happened. A devotee regards any reverses in life as blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, if this thinking is there, any reverses as blessing of the Lord. Therefore, instead of being agitated by such reverses, he continues his activities of devotional service and Krishna takes care of him and enables him to be promoted to the spiritual world back to Godhead. Devotees should do mental exercise. Everyone should do mental exercise. This will help you. I've shared this again in one of our previous things. You should mentally visualize. You are walking in a procession. People are all garlanding you, showering flowers. And you are in the center, walking like a king. Full loaded with garlands. And you are, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And you're walking. How does it look? Maja aata? You should be ready for a situation like that. Everyone is ready? Waiting for that situation. And mentally, visualize one more situation. You are sitting on a donkey, black face, garland of slippers, and people are using foul words. And you're going in a procession. Mentally, you should be ready for both. Life will transpire something in between the two. What reality will unfold will be in between the two. If you are mentally prepared for both, you will sail through. Because what reality will unfold, we are not in full control. If you are not prepared for ill treatment, reversals, blasphemy, criticism, and we'll get shaken and shattered, then Maya will use that and shake us, take us away from Krishna. So just visualize, if this happens, will I leave Krishna consciousness? And potentially both can happen. Both can happen, potentially. Therefore, devotees do not expect that Krishna will always be very kind upon me. He may be harsh, but that is also good. See what Prabhupada is saying. He may be harsh, but that's also good. Krishna or Krishna's devotee, even if he is harsh, even if he is unkind, so-called unkind, that is also good. See, thinking. Krishna's devotee, even if it is unkind, even if it is harsh, that's good. Just like Narada Muni cursed Kuvera's son, they were cursed to become tree. But what was the result? The result was, although they become trees, they were fortunate enough to see Krishna personally. So the Krishna consciousness is Krishna, Krishna's devotee, they are good. Whatever is happening for my good, what is the learning? What should I learn? How I can be more tolerant, how I can be more patient. Now, that does not mean that everything we have to tolerate. At a vyavaharik level, as a matter of duty, what needs to be done? If complaint has to be done, we complain. If somebody has to be scolded, we scold. But as a matter of duty. Actually, the suffering of being blasphemed and the enjoyment of being praised, the acceptance of a good welcome or a chastisement by harsh words are felt in the material conception of life. The same example what I gave. The suffering of being blasphemed and the enjoyment of being praised, the acceptance of a good welcome or a chastisement by harsh words are felt in the material conception of life. So the more we have material conception, the more we are having bodily concept of life, the more we will be prone to suffer when reversals happen. And this morning sadhana, our chanting, our reading, our hearing, daily bhagavatam class, all that, it alleviates our consciousness. It brings us to the right perception. It helps us think properly when reversals happen. We'll stop here. Anyone has any question, anything you'd like to ask based on what we discussed today? Lord Brahma assured the demigods that there was no use in talking about how the disturbing situation of darkness was taking place, since the actual fact was that it was ordered by the Supreme Lord. Brahma knew this because he was a great devotee. It was possible for him to understand the plan of the Lord. Another thing which, as devotees, we can use is not everything we have to fully comprehend and understand. जब तक मुझे पूरा समझ नहीं लग जाएगा तब तक शांति नहीं आएगी. That also is a recipe for ashanti. Many things we may not know. What's the plan of the Lord? That much faith we should have. The Lord is in control. Prabhupada is in control. They will take care. I may not be able to comprehend. I may not be able to understand fully why this is happening. And there our thinking which we have to use is, I have limited experience. I have limited understanding. I cannot fathom everything. I cannot understand everything. For example, doubt can come even in our minds. Why Haridāsa Ṭhākura, he's such great devotee, he was chanting this thing. Why he was beaten this thing? Why Krishna did not do that? This thing can come. something we can understand from Prabhupada's purports from Prabhupada. Like Chota Haridāsa Ṭhākura, he was said he committed suicide. Something we can understand, something we may not be able to understand. But if the bottom line is that everything is happening as per the plan of the Lord, Krishna is in control, Prabhupada, we'll have Shantim Rachati. He is the proprietor. What is the three formula? Peace formula. Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam Sarva Loka Mahir Suhritam. He is a well-wisher. Sarva Bhutanam Jnatva Mam Shantim Rachati. So we should be very careful, especially when reversals come. Think properly, and the thinking can happen. Again, we cannot imitate proper thinking. Thinking comes automatic. It comes from our perception, and that's why attending morning program, reading Prabhupada books is very, very important. Hearing bhagavatam, because it will give us the right perception, give us the right thinking. Thinking, feeling, willing. Stop here. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam.